Hello, Zenith women, and welcome to the channel. Confidence is not they will like me. Confidence is I'll be fine if they don't. Unknown. In a world where conformity often feels like the safest choice, there exists a rare breed of women who live by their own rules. These are the Sigma females, enigmatic, self-assured, and unapologetically independent. Unlike the beta females who may find comfort in following the crowd, Sigma females thrive on being the outliers, the ones who disrupt the norms without ever raising their voices. Here's a quick fact to set the stage. Studies show that women who prioritize self-reliance and personal growth over societal expectations report higher levels of fulfillment. Coincidence? Hardly. Sigma females don't just play the game differently, they've rewritten the rules entirely. But don't mistake them for cold or unapproachable. Imagine the quiet badassery of someone who can dismantle your assumptions about them with just a knowing smile, and still have time to rescue a spider from the corner of the room because honestly, why waste energy squashing things beneath you? If you've ever wondered what separates these elusive Sigmas from the beta females still seeking approval, buckle up. We're diving into 10 extraordinary things Sigma females never do, and why these behaviors keep them in a league of their own. Number 1. Never romanticize struggle as a badge of honor. Sigma females never romanticize struggle as a badge of honor because they know that hardship for its own sake isn't proof of strength. It's often just inefficient. Unlike those who wear their exhaustion or overwork as a symbol of dedication or worthiness, Sigmas understand that glorifying struggle often leads to burnout rather than meaningful progress. They don't see the point in suffering unnecessarily to prove themselves to others. Beta females, on the other hand, may fall into the trap of equating struggle with value. They might endure toxic environments, overextend themselves, or sacrifice their mental and physical health to gain recognition or approval. For them, the struggle becomes a narrative to validate their worth, an unspoken way of saying, "Look how much I'm enduring to succeed." Sigmas reject this mindset entirely. For a Sigma female, the smarter path is the better one. She prioritizes strategy, efficiency, and balance over grinding herself into the ground. If a situation is toxic, she leaves. If a system is broken, she finds a way around it rather than becoming trapped within it. To her, there's no nobility in unnecessary suffering, and she's not afraid to choose peace over conflict when the battle isn't worth fighting. This doesn't mean Sigmas avoid hard work or challenges. They face them head-on when necessary. But they do so with a purpose, not for validation or applause. They understand that struggle is sometimes inevitable, but they refuse to glamorize it as a defining feature of their identity. For Sigmas, success is about results and fulfillment, not how much pain it took to get there. It's this refusal to cling to struggle as a measure of worth that allows them to thrive on their own terms. Number 2. Never seek validation through public performances. Sigma females never seek validation through public performances because they are deeply secure in who they are and what they've achieved. They don't feel the need to broadcast their every success or emotion to gain approval or admiration from others. For Sigmas, validation is an internal process. They measure their worth and progress by their own standards, not by the reactions or applause of others. In contrast, beta females may often look to social media or public displays as a way to affirm their value. Posting accomplishments, sharing dramatic personal updates, or emphasizing struggles can sometimes be a way to draw in external validation. While there's nothing inherently wrong with celebrating wins or expressing emotions, Sigmas approach it differently. They don't crave the external spotlight to feel fulfilled. Sigma females understand that public performances can sometimes dilute the authenticity of achievements. They don't need a sea of likes or comments to know they've done something worthwhile. If they celebrate, it's often privately or with a small circle of people who genuinely matter to them. They also avoid performative vulnerability, sharing struggles just to gain sympathy or attention. Instead, they deal with challenges in their own way, far from the public eye. This self-contained nature doesn't mean they're secretive or aloof. They simply value substance over spectacle. Their sense of validation comes from doing the work, achieving personal growth, and knowing they're on the right path, whether anyone else knows about it or not. This quiet confidence is what makes them stand out. While others may clamor for attention, Sigmas command respect simply by being unapologetically themselves. Number 3. Never outsource their self-worth. Sigma females never outsource their self-worth because they know their value doesn't depend on external validation, labels, or the opinions of others. Unlike beta females, who may feel the need to anchor their identity to relationships, job titles, or social recognition, Sigmas operate from a place of inner confidence and self-awareness. They refuse to let anyone else dictate how they should see themselves or what they should aspire to be. This mindset sets them apart in a world that constantly demands proof of worthiness. Sigmas don't chase praise, approval, or applause. They understand that these things are fleeting and often come with strings attached. Instead, they invest in their own growth, skills, and character, knowing that true self-worth comes from within. Whether they succeed or fail, their identity remains intact because it isn't tied to external achievements or relationships. For Sigmas, this independence is liberating. They don't feel the need to impress a boss to feel competent, keep a partner to feel loved, or mold themselves into society's expectations to feel accepted. This doesn't mean they reject recognition or relationships, they simply don't depend on them. A compliment might make them smile, but it doesn't define their value. Similarly, criticism might sting, but it doesn't shatter their confidence. By refusing to outsource their self-worth, Sigma females build an unshakable foundation of resilience. They aren't easily manipulated or swayed by others because they already know who they are. Their value isn't a negotiation. It's a fact they carry with them, quietly but powerfully, in everything they do. This unwavering self-reliance makes them magnetic and often intimidating, as it's a trait few possess but many envy. Number 4. Never perform emotional labor for free. Sigma females never perform emotional labor for free because they understand the value of their mental and emotional energy. They are keenly aware of how much effort goes into supporting others, listening, advising, soothing, or mediating, and they don't allow themselves to be treated like an emotional vending machine. While some people might see this as selfish, it's actually the ultimate form of self-respect. Sigma females know that emotional support is a two-way street, not a bottomless resource to be taken advantage of. Unlike beta females, who often feel compelled to shoulder emotional burdens to keep the peace or maintain relationships, Sigmas set firm boundaries. They refuse to take responsibility for problems that aren't theirs to fix, nor do they let guilt or obligation dictate their actions. If someone comes to them repeatedly with the same issue but no effort to change, a Sigma will quietly step back. They don't waste time offering solutions to people who don't actually want to solve anything. This doesn't mean Sigmas are cold or uncaring. Quite the opposite. They care deeply, but only for those who show respect for their time and energy. They understand that true emotional connection is built on mutual effort, not one-sided giving. They don't feel the need to be everyone's go-to person, nor do they thrive on being the fixer in every scenario. When Sigmas do give their emotional support, it's intentional, meaningful, and impactful. They give it where it matters most, relationships that are reciprocal, and situations where their effort will lead to real progress. By refusing to let themselves be drained by constant demands, they protect their mental well-being and preserve their energy for what truly aligns with their purpose and values. Number 5. Never let small-minded criticism dictate their actions. Sigma females never let small-minded criticism dictate their actions because they have an unshakable sense of purpose and perspective. They know that petty judgments and unsolicited opinions often reveal more about the critic than the criticized. For Sigmas, these distractions are like background noise, annoying but irrelevant to the bigger picture they're focused on. Unlike beta females, who may adjust their behavior to avoid conflict or to please others, Sigmas don't feel the need to explain, justify, or defend their choices. They trust their instincts and remain grounded in their values, even when others try to undermine them with negative comments. To a Sigma, Wasting energy on small-minded opinions is like stopping to argue with every barking dog on the way to your destination. It's a pointless detour. Criticism for a Sigma isn't inherently bad. It just has to come from the right source to be meaningful. They'll listen to feedback from people they respect or those who genuinely want to help them grow. But when it's coming from a place of envy, ignorance, or malice, they let it roll off their shoulders without a second thought. They've mastered the art of discernment, knowing when to take advice and when to ignore it entirely. This ability to stay unaffected by petty negativity doesn't make them cold or arrogant. It makes them wise. They know that greatness often attracts criticism, and bending to every opinion only leads to mediocrity. By focusing on their goals and refusing to let others define their path, Sigmas demonstrate an enviable combination of resilience and clarity. They understand that the best way to silence small-minded critics isn't by engaging with them. It's by succeeding on their own terms. Number 6. Never play the victim card for sympathy. Sigma females never play the victim card for sympathy because they refuse to let challenges define them. While beta females may fall into patterns of self-pity or use their struggles to gain attention or support, Sigmas see no power in being viewed as helpless. To them, wallowing in the role of the victim is a distraction from solving the problem and a waste of energy that could be spent rising above it. Sigmas face hardships with a pragmatic mindset. Instead of focusing on how unfair a situation might be or seeking validation from others for their pain, they analyze what went wrong and strategize their next steps. They take ownership of their role in any setback, not because they blame themselves, but because they understand that responsibility is the first step toward regaining control. Sympathy from others doesn't fuel their confidence. Progress does. This doesn't mean Sigmas don't experience pain or seek support when they need it. They value meaningful connections and will open up to trusted individuals, but only when it serves a purpose, whether it's to gain perspective, share a lesson, or foster growth. They're not interested in pity or attention for the sake of it. They want solutions, not solace. By refusing to play the victim, Sigmas embody resilience and strength in a way that others find both admirable and intimidating. They don't deny their struggles, but they refuse to let those struggles define their narrative. They know that every obstacle is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. And while others may be busy seeking sympathy, Sigmas are already taking the next step toward their goals. Number 7. Never settle for safe choices out of fear. Sigma females never settle for safe choices out of fear because they understand that playing it safe often means staying stagnant. For them, fear is not a signal to retreat, but an invitation to grow. While beta females may cling to comfort zones or make decisions to avoid failure, Sigmas view these so-called safe choices as the real danger, the slow erosion of potential, creativity, and progress. Sigmas have a unique relationship with uncertainty. They don't see the unknown as a threat, but as a challenge to be embraced. They understand that growth rarely happens in comfort zones, and the risk of failure is a necessary part of pursuing something meaningful. Instead of fearing what could go wrong, they focus on what could go right and strategize their moves accordingly. For Sigmas, calculated risk is always preferable to the guaranteed mediocrity of staying safe. What sets Sigmas apart is their ability to trust themselves, even in uncertain situations. They don't rely on external guarantees or hand-holding to take a leap. They rely on their intuition, preparation, and resilience. Even when things don't go as planned, they view setbacks as temporary and part of the journey, rather than a reason to retreat into safety. This doesn't mean they are reckless or impulsive. On the contrary, Sigmas are deeply strategic. They weigh the risks and rewards, but they refuse to let fear be the deciding factor. They know that true fulfillment comes from pushing boundaries, not settling for what's easy or familiar. By prioritizing growth over comfort, they create lives full of purpose and possibility, proving that the biggest risks often lead to the most extraordinary rewards. Number 8. Never let relationships overshadow personal growth. Sigma females never let relationships overshadow personal growth because they understand that their individuality is their greatest strength. While beta females may adjust their goals, routines, or even identities to align with a partner's life, Sigmas prioritize their own growth and self-discovery. They see relationships as a complement to their journey, not the journey itself. For Sigmas, personal growth is non-negotiable. They recognize that the healthiest and most fulfilling relationships are built between two whole individuals who continue to evolve. They refuse to lose themselves in a partner's dreams or sacrifice their ambitions to keep the peace. Instead, they ensure that their goals, passions, and purpose remain central to their lives, whether they're single or in a relationship. This doesn't mean Sigmas are emotionally distant or incapable of deep connections. On the contrary, they value love and partnership, but only when it's rooted in mutual respect and growth. They avoid codependency and resist the societal pressure to make their relationship status the ultimate measure of their worth. To them, a strong relationship doesn't hinder personal development, it enhances it. Sigmas also have the courage to walk away from relationships that demand they shrink themselves. They'd rather face temporary loneliness than compromise their individuality for the sake of being with someone. They see this as an act of self-respect, not selfishness, because they know that a relationship built on sacrificing personal growth is ultimately unsustainable. By staying true to themselves, Sigma females set a powerful example. They show that it's possible to love deeply while still pursuing personal excellence. For them, the goal is never to complete someone else's life. It's to build a life so fulfilling that the right partner naturally fits into it. Number 9. Never waste energy convincing people to like them. Sigma females never waste energy convincing people to like them because they understand that their value doesn't depend on external approval. Unlike beta females, who may go out of their way to win over critics or adapt themselves to fit the expectations of others, Sigmas are comfortable with being misunderstood or even disliked. They don't feel the need to explain themselves or earn the validation of those who don't see or appreciate their worth. Sigmas operate with an unwavering sense of self-assurance. They know that no amount of effort can change the minds of those who are determined to judge them without understanding their true character. Instead of chasing approval or engaging in unnecessary social gymnastics, Sigmas invest their energy in the things that truly matter, whether it's personal growth, creative projects, or pursuing their passions. They realize that their mental and emotional resources are too valuable to be spent on people who won't reciprocate their energy. This doesn't mean Sigmas are indifferent or uncaring about relationships. They simply understand that meaningful connections are built on mutual respect and shared values, not on trying to prove oneself to others. They are perfectly content to walk away from situations or relationships that demand too much of them, knowing that their peace of mind is far more important than fitting into someone else's mold. By refusing to bend or perform for the approval of others, Sigmas remain authentic to themselves. They cultivate relationships that are based on genuine admiration, not superficial popularity. They're not interested in being liked by everyone. They're interested in being respected by those who truly understand them. Their refusal to chase approval only amplifies their strength and draws people toward them who value them for who they truly are, not for who they pretend to be. Number 10. Never discredit their own intuition. Sigma females never discredit their own intuition because they recognize it as one of their most powerful tools for navigating life. Unlike beta females who may ignore or second-guess their gut feelings in favor of fitting in or following the crowd, Sigmas trust their instincts as a reliable guide, even when it leads them down a path that others might not understand. They have a deep confidence in their ability to read situations and people, and they act decisively when their intuition speaks. This self-trust comes from years of honing their inner compass and learning to listen to that quiet, persistent voice that tells them when something feels right or wrong. Sigmas don't need external validation to make decisions. They know that their own instincts are enough. Whether it's in relationships, career choices, or life decisions, They rely on their gut feelings because they've learned that it rarely steers them wrong. Where betas might hesitate or conform to external pressures, sigmas move forward with clarity and confidence, even if it means walking alone. They don't need approval or consensus to feel secure in their choices. Their intuition is their constant companion, guiding them through uncertainty with a sense of certainty that others often envy. This ability to trust themselves makes them unapologetically independent. They're not afraid to stand alone, even if others don't understand their choices. Sigmas don't need to explain themselves to anyone. They follow their intuition, knowing it will lead them to where they need to be. It's this unwavering belief in their own instincts that allows them to navigate life with a quiet, unshakable confidence. In a world that often rewards conformity and external validation, Sigma females remain an exceptional force of nature, carving their own path with quiet strength and unmatched self-assurance. They don't seek approval, don't fear uncertainty, and never settle for mediocrity. Every decision they make is driven by an unwavering sense of self, guided by their own intuition and built on the foundation of personal growth. While others may feel the weight of expectations, Sigmas stand tall, unbothered by petty criticism, unchained by the need for constant approval, and always moving forward with purpose. They don't conform to societal molds. Instead, they reshape the world around them in their own image, living lives of profound meaning, depth, and resilience. The power of a Sigma female lies not in her need to prove anything, but in her ability to remain true to herself no matter what. She's not here to fit in, she's here to stand out. And in doing so, she teaches us all the importance of self-reliance, inner strength, and the art of living authentically. To be a Sigma isn't just to exist, it's to live on your own terms, unshaken by external forces, and unwavering in the pursuit of your true potential. And as we watch them do it effortlessly, we're reminded that the path less traveled is often the one that leads to the greatest freedom. If you found this insight into the world of Sigma females as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join the community for more powerful content that inspires self-growth and unapologetic independence. Like, comment, and share this video with anyone who needs a reminder of their own inner strength. Let's spread the wisdom and empower others to walk their own path with confidence. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay true to who you are.